Welcome in to the Marvel Stuff podcast. We're here. We're going to talk about the amount of snow and sadness that just really clouded over Michigan for the entire holiday weekend. And that's super relevant to all of our fans, including the ones in Brazil and Uruguay and all over the world. They really want to know what the weather's like over here in, Grand Rapids. So, what's up?
Yeah, I thought today was the day that we talked about the Omega level mutant known as Santa Claus. But weather.
Ooh, that is a conversation for a different time, and I hope every one of our listeners had a great Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever holidays you celebrate. We're looking forward to the new year. That's kind of what we're actually going to do on today's episode. We're going to give our Marvel hopes and some resolutions for ourselves, and we're going to break it down. Coach is sick as a dog, so he will not be in today. But filling in slash he's normally here anyway, Noah King Bates. Welcome back, my good friend. How you doing?
I am doing well. Second day of Kwanzaa for all of our Kwanzaa celebrators out there. And like you said, Hanukkah and Christmas just finished, so I'm full. I'm holidayed out almost. This has been a three trek for me.
Fair enough. Well, let's run the game. I think this is going to be great. Hey, David Lozano says, "Merry belated Chrysler." Shout out to you, David. We love
Merry
it. Love
Chrysler.
you. Love you to have on the podcast. And whenever you want, you're always welcome here. Let's kick it off. I think I have more than you, so I'll go first with the hope I have for Marvel. I think the best thing we could do on this episode is just kind of break down each one of these hopes and resolutions because I think you're going to agree with most, if not all, of my things on here.
Oh yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
We'll
My
see.
first one is Marvel gets its mojo back, and what I mean by that is like this phase felt like it didn't really culminate into things like previous phases have done. It was a lot of setup work, and maybe not for myself personally, but for a lot of people, they were major hits and misses this time. And in previous phases, there was like one or two misses that people weren't a big fan of. I guess that naturally comes with doing more with it, but at the same time, I really want them to get back to. I want the next phase to kick off really well, so it's going to be sweet. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying, and I think what Marvel did at least in these like this last year as well as just the last couple of years is balancing what to show and when to show it because they now have so many TV shows. Like before, people have to understand that before this phase, TV shows weren't connected. They didn't have to worry about this balancing act of TV shows connecting with movies and flip-flopping. I mean, since like COVID time, but I consider that still in this whole phase. Before then, it was just movies that you waited for every year. Now they have to have like shows that kind of connect, but also tell their own story. So,
And it's nice because it's a tough balance because I like what they're doing where they're trying different genres and they're different types of characters and differing levels of like seriousness, but at the same time they got to find some way to like get them all to feel like they're going to mesh together a little better because I feel like at this point how is She-Hulk really going to go with future
werewolf.
Punisher or Thor even, there's lots of characters and it's going to be weird trying to see them all together, like the heart of Shang-Chi but the comedy of She-Hulk. Can those two things really mesh? We're gonna see, but that's kind of my first hope for Marvel. And kind of a
Okay.
part B to this is I want them to rediscover what made them so special in the first place. So kind of on that same level, but I mean, you and I have been around for the entire MCU. Obviously, we're old men. No, it hasn't been that long, but we saw like the hype behind everything kind of increase. And I know, like, I don't think it comes from a perspective of me getting older, so I'm less hyped about things because I don't think that's true at all. Because if the right thing comes, I'm as happy as I was when I was 10 years old. Like, we still got Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, and your boy's pumped about it. So that's just one example. What do you feel that they're really have been missing a little bit, or can you think of examples where they did get that magic again, and you wish that they would kind of keep that train moving?
So yeah, when it comes to the magic of the MCU, I think you're correct. Um, it's hard because they're trying to be new, but what's really been getting people magical, what's really been getting people happy is nostalgia. So you have to do this perfect balancing act of bringing in new while loving the old.
Respecting
So I
the
think
old, yeah.
yes, so I think that's where the MCU now, because they have such a long history of Marvel, that I hope things like Ironheart does a good job of telling a new story, but having that homage to Tony, having that homage to the original Iron Man. So I think that's where the magic is going to have to come in, because it's going to shepherd in old people like ourselves who saw Iron Man in theaters. But when we watch Ironheart with our kids, with our daughters, with our son, with children, they can still find the newness where we can still respect where it came from. And I think
Right,
that's where Marvel's
100%.
going to have to do it.
And they proved that they can do it with flying colors with Spider-Man No Way Home. I mean, I think that was the last big spark. A lot of people liked Multiverse of Madness, including myself, but I think that Spider-Man movie took them to a new peak, and it's going to be really hard for them getting back to that level. I think it comes with a decade and a half of Spider-Man movies that you get to respect. So they're going to do the same type of thing with X-Men. But Spider-Man has been and always will be a bigger character than anyone else in Marvel. It's just that's the name of the game with Spider-Man. So
exactly.
can they do it again?
I think they can. And I think the tough part is this phase came right after the conclusion of their arc of Infinity War. So it's really hard to jump off and just be like, like from that, because it was such a solemn ending. Like, our people that we loved are gone. Majority of them are gone. So yeah, they had to start fresh. So to a lot of people, it's like, oh, it's not the same. Well, true, because how is it going to be the same if all of our people are gone?
Right.
So I think once we get to like Secret Wars and Kang Dynasty, I think most people, as long as you stuck with the MCU, are going to have that same feeling that they had for Endgame that they'll have for Secret Wars, maybe even more so.
Yeah, David in the comments said that Quantumanium's going to get Marvel back on track, and he's really looking forward to seeing Bill Murray. I don't necessarily agree with that one, but I am the known, like, the two franchises in Marvel that I'm the doo-doo person on is Guardians and Ant-Man, and it's not because they're not good, but the jokes are funny once. So I don't know, and I get like Spy Kids vibes from Quantumanium. So we're gonna see how it goes. Obviously, I'm gonna go see it, and I hope that it blows me out of the water. I really do. So we'll see.
See, now you're making me want Quantumania more. You said it's like Spy Kids. Let's go. But
no, George Lopez better be in a mech.
But I understand what he's saying, because Ant-Man has constantly been the jumping off point for very important moments in Marvel. The first movie led right into Civil War. The second movie led right into Endgame. So I understand what he's saying, that it might revitalize in a way that we're going to finally see the big bad. We're going to see Kang. We're going to see who's next. So maybe I understand his thought process.
I'm intrigued by Kang.
Guardians is trash.
Okay, all right, let's calm down. James Gunn is a visionary. Anyway, right, what do you have? Yeah, I know you don't necessarily agree, and I like him enough. Peacemaker was fantastic.
I like him enough.
Go watch Gotham City Rogues and us talking about Peacemaker, because we both love that.
Yeah, exactly, and I like what he's done. But for my first one, I want Marvel to treat the X-Men with the love and care that they need. And what I mean by that is, and I think what Kevin Feige might have built up and what I'm seeing in terms of like stuff happening, don't just make an X-Men movie. Each X-Men character, especially the original 5 or even the Uncanny X-Men that most people know from the animated series, each character has such lore that they could have their own show, they could have their own movie, they could have their own standalone comic series, and they're all good. So don't just make an X-Men movie and just have them all together. Treat them with care.
They are on the precipice. I think they can do what they've been doing with the characters they have, and everybody gets to have their own thing. I don't know. Are they going to be able to pull it off when we already have a huge randomized roster of Marvel characters without the X-Men? There has to be X-Men team up movies, but I'm with you 100%. Like a Gambit and Rogue show, I would die, man. I'd be so excited to see a show like that. or just like the complicated relationship with Cyclops and his evil brother. Like there's lots of weird X-Men storylines that people don't necessarily like hear about other than like the animated TV show. And that thing was huge. Even X-Men Evolution, I was a big fan of, and that made them like high school age. I don't know if they're going to go that route, but they could. And it was an intriguing show. So the X-Men are, they can't underestimate the X-Men, but at the same time, it's going to be a hard thing to do because there's already been 10 X-Men movies or whatever. So it's just like they got to find the combination of respecting each individual character without beating a dead horse and doing things over again. Because they already tried to do the Dark Phoenix sagas twice, and they both sucked. I mean, just go watch it on the TV show, and that's how you do the Dark Phoenix arc.
And see, that's the interesting thing is like for me, I'm wholeheartedly believe because the X-Men, like showing them before they team up. Like if we don't get Rogue and Miss Marvel in the Marvels, that's a miss. If we don't get like there's so many different areas, like the fact that I understand why we didn't get Storm in Wakanda Forever, but at the same point, that was a good moment to show her.
Man, that would have been cool. Man, yeah. I mean, maybe there would have been a cameo. We're never gonna know because the movie got completely the script got flipped completely. But Wakanda Forever was a great movie, and I think that's one of the examples of them really still embracing some of the things that made them great. My one complaint about that movie really is the CGI boat battle with the stupid sea people and the dumb Midnight Angel. Oh my God, that part of the movie was so dumb. They could have cut that completely and just had Shuri face off with oh my God, Namor.
Just Avatar.
Just have them do it. Just have Namor and Shuri face off, and that's all we needed to see for a 9-minute scene or something. Whatever. That's a different complaint, but great movie. And yeah, the X-Men really do deserve respect, and I think we need to get on that. One of my resolutions for myself in relation to Marvel is I want to be a better fan. And I think I am one of the higher, I don't know if I want to say tier, but like I'm definitely a big fan. I have a podcast about it, obviously. And I go to all the Thursday night premieres and stuff, but I think we can all learn and stand to like grow and be more supportive of some of the things that they're doing. Like, man, I hated What If so much, but it was cool. And like they did it. They did the thing. It was an animated TV show. It was fun. They got a lot of the actors to reprise their roles. Like it was a feat within itself, but I still, poo-pooed on it a little bit. So, I just got to get a little better. How do you feel, Noah?
No, I completely understand that. I've been like throughout the past 10 plus years of comic book journey have really worked on not gatekeeping. That's been my big thing. It's like if someone is coming in just because of the MCU, that doesn't make them any less of a fan. I just know more. Right, and that it's different. It's different for everyone. So I respect that because What If? I mean, it's higher up on my list, but at the same time, you just heard me crap on Guardians. But it is it's integral to the MCU. As much as I might not like it, I have to respect it, and I do. And then the people who love it and consider it the best movie and consider Batista and Emmy nominated, like to me, it's you're right. I need to appreciate what we have because we live in such an amazing point in time where nerds, especially nerds like us, do get this. We get this cinematic universe, something that was never thought of.
Going back to we got a Peacemaker show, bro. Suicide Squad movies. Like, what is happening? This is the best time to be alive. Yeah, that was my next one. Is like, I gotta bring back my old level of excitement, man, because I remember when like the Wolverine, like they were like announced that movie was being made. I lost my mind because that was my favorite like story that they told in comic books ever. Wolverine, the samurai, and we get to see that live action, and that movie was awesome. And like I was just next level excited about it. That's a little bit different because he is my favorite Marvel character. But at the same time, I should at least be able to muster up a sliver of that type of excitement. Like I should be more excited about Quantumania, but I'm not. So I'm going to try and be better and try and get myself more hyped up for this stuff because every single thing that they do is going to be worth watching, and it's going to be someone's favorite thing. That's a weird thing to think about all the time, but you can't crap on their things all the time because some people it's going to be their favorite thing ever. So I really am going to try to be more positive on the things I'm not as hyped about.
Okay, yeah. But one of my resolutions, and this is my personal one, is I know we've talked about it, but Marvel, in terms of comics, dropped off for me.
Yep.
I've kind of stopped reading altogether unless it's something like a big event like Judgment Day or AXE. Like I just kind of stopped reading, which sucks because my favorite characters are still around. Miles Morales, Peter, like so much is happening in the comic book universe. The fact that I want, maybe I need to just kind of start over. Maybe I need to find a good one and
It's
then branch
because
off from
DC
there.
Black Label is so much better than every other comic book.
It is. It is. It's so much, but at the same time, like we just said, I need to get excited about it. I need to
Right.
know that another issue of something is coming out and want to read it immediately. Yeah, I do that with Black Label immediately. Like a new Black Label comes out, I'm reading it.
It's even a
Yeah,
character I
that's
don't
what
care about.
Marvel is doing.
I want to read Aquaman Andromeda. I've never once cared about Aquaman, but I want to read it.
So yeah, now that's what I'm at. I want to be able for someone to be like, "Hey, did you read the new Jean Grey?" And I'm like, "Yes." Like I
You need to
need that.
get on the Daredevil track. They just had a soft kind of reboot, and Chip
I
Zdarsky
heard
took
about
over
that.
from writing, and I've been reading that since the beginning. That's the only Marvel comic book I'm currently reading. I've tried a couple other ones and couldn't quite get on, but the writing in that's pretty incredible. So definitely get on that. Chip Zdarsky's
Yeah,
been
that's the
around
one
for
where
a while. He's
Elektra.
great. Elektra's
That's
also
one where Elektra's
Daredevil.
there.
Yep,
Okay,
yep.
yeah. I've been
There,
hearing phenomenal things.
it's a dope series. I like it a lot. All right. Next, hope for Marvel. Uh, it's tough, and it feels like I'm criticizing, but I'm not trying to. But I want them to be less formulaic and have like more powerful storytelling. Like we need some heart to some of these storylines. Like they hit a couple of notes in most projects. They do. They know how to like pluck the emotional string, but I don't think they're like playing a symphony. They're just kind of like that's a side thing. Let's have these big action things. We got to have lots, a little bit of comedy here and there. I miss great storytelling, and I know that the people that they have on staff are capable of telling some next level stuff that really intrigues me. And with a couple of exceptions, they haven't been doing that lately. So I hope that it brings it back to that level
Yeah,
of
to
like what
jump
I'm
off
looking
of
for.
that. Yeah, to jump off of that, I completely agree. I think my big thing is to like you said, they're kind of plucking. Take the chances. What
Right.
Marvel does, like Werewolf by Night was a shot in the dark.
Yeah, it was cool though. Everyone loved it. Well, not
Exactly,
everyone, but a lot
exactly.
of people loved it.
A lot of people loved it. It was a shot in the dark, and it hit. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness was a shot in the dark, and it hit. Like they are still playing so close to the chest, where now is the time where they can. Yes, people
I miss
might.
WandaVision. WandaVision was next level. That was like the reason we started this podcast. That was such a cool show. Who thought that they could do 2 whole episodes just based on 1950s and 60s TV? And that's the entire first 2 episodes. They're like, deal with it. It's cool. And they're damn right it is. It's cool as hell.
So yeah, that they they kind of are doing it, but again, like I think Werewolf by Night is truly the most outlandish thing that they tried. It didn't have as much Marvel comedy in it. It was an old school horror movie-esque type
It
feel,
was so
like
cool
a
though.
universal. It was just right, and it hit. And people who don't like it probably just don't like that kind of genre, and that's fine. It's not for everyone, but it was such a shot in
That's
the dark
the
to me.
problem is Marvel wants to get as many people interested as possible, which I can respect because they're a business, and in the end of the day, it comes down to money. But at the same time, I feel like if they go for the niche markets because they have so much money in so many projects, you're gonna hit a new level of fandom that like the fans really respect individual projects like Werewolf by Night that gave like homage to some of the great monster movies of yesteryear and old school cinema. Like it was awesome. It was really fun storytelling, and I hope they keep doing stuff like that. And yeah, really well put. I appreciate that. My next one for me personally, I got to keep enjoying podcasting, man. I got overwhelmed by Black Panther week doing too many episodes, and I took like 2 weeks off. I was like, this feels like a chore. But then I got to think about it. I'm like, this is the coolest thing I do. Like, this is fun. This is like taking my hobby and turning it into something at least marginally productive. And I need to rediscover the appreciation of that. I mean, it is a lot of work. I mean, me personally, I do all the editing and posting and yada, yada, yada. I do all this like extra back work that it's time consuming, and I have other things to do, but I need to love this stuff because it's awesome.
You want to drop your Cash App so people?
Oh yeah. Someone start paying me now. Hey, we got ads, and we got couple dollar bills in the bank from those ads. So thank you. It's not a lot, but we appreciate you guys for listening. And that the ads have been working out pretty well for us. So keep listening, keep sharing with your friends. Obviously, I'm still here. I'm keeping going. Me and Noah have been running Gotham City Rogues. You've been at it for what, like 10 months, something like that.
Yeah,
I did it for a year. Yeah, we just had our 1-year anniversary on December 7th, and that one's taken a little bit of a backseat, but I don't think that's too much of a problem. So trying to do 2 a week felt like a lot, man. Me too. 2 podcasts a week was too much. So that one, I think slowing down on that one, but reinvesting some of the energy into this podcast is really going to be beneficial for everyone. And we, obviously recruited Noah King Bates over here whenever he wants to be here. So it's all great stuff. And obviously, if you guys haven't listened to the Gotham City Rogues podcast, go check it out because we got a good backlog for a year worth of content. And then we got more coming. We're recording right after this. Noah, did you have more personal ones that you wanted to go over or hopes for Marvel?
Yeah. So a big resolution that I have for myself, and it's kind of like what you said, but it's not just podcasting. I want to really allow my artistic juices to flow in terms of just Marvel. Like right now I'm working on like directing stuff, I cosplay, and I've recognized the fact of like something really big that I want to do in 2023 is to do a stage production of a comic. I don't know what comic, I don't know how, but I know I want to start bringing my love of comics into the world of theater because they are so intertwined, and it's a niche market, like you said, but no one's doing it.
Right. Exactly. And we've been doing podcasting on this podcast for quite a while now, and then everybody and their mother got a podcast or two. So it feels like everything got watered down a little bit, but we got in early enough that we got well-established audience. So thank you guys for listening. Noah, I really want to see your stage production of whatever comic book you choose, and it's going to be awesome. I'm excited.
Right now, the 2 that I'm working at is one is The Imposter, in terms of instead of it being like shut up. It's a vigilante not trapped, but wounded inside of a psychiatrist's house, and them talking about what brought them to doing that. And that's pretty much what I'm trying to work on right now.
That'll be really cool.
And then the other one is in the realm of kind of an X-Men thing where a woman figures out she has powers and gets put into not an asylum, but in like almost like a bunker for other people who are gifted. And it's her coming to terms with what that means for her future because she's like a new mother. And
mine wasn't the mother thing. No, I had a dream about this a couple years ago, and I wrote it in my notes about like a short story I was going to write, and I never got around to it. But it's very much similar to that, like bunkers and like they get recruited. I'm sure it sounds cool. So yeah, count me in. I'm all about.
Let's go. In terms of Marvel, things I want Marvel to do. I want the directors and the writers to be able to do what they want. I understand that Kevin Feige has.
We missed out on Edgar Wright's Ant-Man, man, and Edgar Wright is a great filmmaker. So I mean, I think we missed out. Ant-Man was good still, but he's great.
Exactly, but we got to see it a little bit with Sam Raimi.
Right.
And that's what made the second half of Doctor Strange so amazing. So let your director, and I think that's why the Eternals maybe didn't hit for most people, because that was her directing style. And I enjoyed like the cinematography, the way that she shot it. That was beautiful. But as a Marvel fan, I was like, okay, but like we said, I need to like start allowing I not every Marvel comic that you pick up is exactly the same. So not every movie should be exactly the same.
Right. 100%. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, that kind of hits back to the formulaic thing. It's like sometimes feels like you've seen one Marvel movie, you've seen them all in some sense, and I can appreciate that they're starting to deviate from that a little bit. Eternals was great. I think their main flaw, if you want to call it a flaw, is they were unknown characters. So if you would have put, if she would have directed an X-Men movie, no matter how good or bad the movie was, it would have been a bigger movie just because it was the X-Men. So I don't think we can knock them too much. Like everyone's freaking out, like, why didn't Black Adam do that much better? It's like, because he's Black Adam and people don't know who that is, bro. Like it's not, I like the movie enough. We watched it. It was pretty solid. It felt like, another superhero movie, maybe a couple parts that were pretty, a little bit better than others, but it fell short the same way Eternals fell short, because these are characters that it's too far in the niche. You're going too deep in the comic book bag. Nerds like you and I can appreciate that, whatever they do with it. But if you try and ask, Tim, Sally, or Sue, they're just going to tell you like, oh, is Captain America in this one? No? Well, then why would I go watch it? Captain America's my guy. And that's just how some people are. So I think they got lucky with Guardians. I think that's what the real issue in it too is. That movie was way bigger than anyone expected. It was very funny. And these characters that, like me, as an avid comic book reader, did not know who the Guardians were. Didn't know them. They announced these movies. I was like, I don't know who these people are. And I was, I'm more of a DC comic book reader, but I still read Marvel too. So I was surprised with myself for not knowing them. And then that movie blew up. So they're trying to catch lightning in a bottle again with some of these unknown characters, and sometimes they're missing. That's for sure.
Yeah, and Guardians had the magic of, oh look, a talking raccoon, a talking tree. They had lovable characters, even if you didn't recognize them. They're different. You're gonna like Eternals is just a bunch of people. It's just a bunch of dudes.
Nothing special about it. I mean, they're all special, but none of them look special.
Right. Nothing looks special. And then with Black Adam, Dwayne thought that he could carry something on his back, and no one human can do that in terms of carrying a franchise. Even Indiana Jones can't do that.
Even Robert Downey Jr. needed Chris Evans. I mean, the Iron Man movies were great, but what made the Avengers movies was the dichotomy of the two of them. It's not a one-man show, and The Rock can sometimes be Mr. One-Man Show because he's the biggest movie star in the world. But that doesn't mean that you can carry an entire franchise. So hopefully he gets another shot because he's got the superhero bod, and I hope he gets to do something later in the future. If you guys want to hear us break down all the things going on in DC right now, go catch this week's episode of Gotham City Rogues, because that's literally what we're going to talk about when we're done here.
Oh yeah, we're gonna go hard. And then one final resolution is I want to do more Marvel cosplaying. I've kind of stuck away from it for a while because my biggest one was Black Panther, and I just felt like for the time being it wasn't. I was allowing him to rest, so I personally just didn't cosplay as him unless I was doing it for a kid's birthday party or an event. But there's now so many people, so many characters, and ones who just haven't. I mean, now as soon as I see what Yahya Abdul-Mateen looks like, Wonder Man might be popping out. Like anything is possible now, and that's really wonderful. So I want that cosplaying energy to come back in me and to be able to feel like I could cosplay as anybody.
Fair enough. Cosplaying is the one that got away from me. Maybe someday I'll get into it. Maybe my daughter will be really into cosplay, and I'll just do all the daddy-daughter stuff. We'll see how it goes. But I had, I think, a couple more personal goals for me in this podcast, and I had one more resolution or hope for Marvel. So let's go with the resolution. I want this podcast to reach new heights because we I think we got the talent. I think we've got the energy. We bring some new stuff to like the podcasting sphere. I listen to a lot of podcasts and I don't hear a lot that are exactly like this. So I hope that it reaches new heights and we could just get a whole new audience. Like you guys share it with your friends. We're family friendly. We only swear very, very little. So that's intentional. we do that because we want to make sure that we're still able to be listened to by some of Marvel's core fans. And then on the opposite end of the spectrum, we also talk about bigger things, like the bigger picture. Like right now, we're talking about the future of these franchises and what the feeling is and things that, more adult swaying things. So I have a lot of faith in this podcast and I want us to keep growing because we haven't stopped. We're just, we're kind of plateaued. We haven't gone down. So yeah, share with your friends, guys. Let's get this podcast blowing up again. I think.
And what do you guys want to see? Like that?
I want some engagement up in here because we get it sometimes, and we appreciate some of the stuff that we have gotten, and we have brought it to your guys' attention. But I can understand on the same way. It's like, oh, I got to click on this website and type this and type that, and yeah, it's too much effort. But if you want like different levels of entertainment that's really geared towards you, let us know and we'll try and do something cool for you. That's going to be what happens. And it's going to be sweet. Hopefully. So write in, leave a review, do all that good stuff. Message one of us. We love hearing from you. So that's going to be great. And another hope I have for Marvel. This one's just a little one. I want more drama. I just want more dramatic stuff, like dramatic acting, big emotional scenes.
Okay. I was like, where are you going with this?
Not like Ezra Miller drama. Like, I mean, dramatic performances. I want like Oscar Isaac obviously brought it to the table for Moon Knight because he's an Oscar nominated, or did he win? I don't know. Oscar nominated actor, and he's great. So let's do some more of that. I mean, one scene per TV show isn't enough for me, my guys. If you can do a whole drama series, you sign your boy up. I'll watch it twice, 3 times. I don't care. I need to feel something. God, no.
Especially because you're right. Because look at, if I were to name so many Oscar or Emmy nominated actors that they have in the MCU.
I know. That's what I'm saying. They have the talent, yet they're not fully taking advantage of the talent that they have on staff. Drive me nuts, guys.
Angela Bassett put her whole body into Wakanda Forever.
Yeah, and it was like awesome.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm completely with you. And sadly, what I believe is they need to not just put those moments like they did in Wakanda Forever, but like you said, there's just a plucking at a string. The TV shows do it a little bit more, and I really want them to start embracing that and putting it into the movies outside of just like Endgame or moments where it's like, don't have a scene that doesn't end in a joke. Wakanda Forever, I think, is one of the first movies where like not every scene ended in something funny.
Yeah, I'm not saying you should take out comedy completely, but is there even 3 projects in the MCU that don't have, silly humor that they throw in just because they're a Marvel movie? Probably not. I mean, there might be 1 or 2 that do it.
I'd say First Avenger, Wakanda Forever, maybe the first Black Panther, maybe, but even then, that's push. That's me.
That's what I'm saying. Everything's a push. Yeah. So yeah, I just would love to see, because like you said, we've got some A-list actors, and there's very few of them not left in the MCU, or very few actors not in the MCU yet. So we clearly have enough people. Please do some more drama, because I think that's what's going to take Marvel to the next level, because they're starting to lose respect in the industry, which is super frustrating because they're just as creatively challenging as anything else. I mean, it's still a director and a writer, and they're trying to make something great. So let's do like a drama. Joaquin Phoenix did it in The Joker. Why can't we do something cool like that? That's all. I mean,
the weird thing is when you look at the comic book movies that have gone above and beyond and people can't talk about are the non-formulaic, non-MCU ones. You have Logan, you have the Joker, you have the Batman, you have it's the movies. The Dark Knight. Like, it's the ones that aren't formulaic. So the fact that they're still being formulaic is very intriguing. Yes,
It's
if it ain't broke,
money,
don't fix
man.
it.
Yeah, I get it, but there's no way that they're not like looking at the numbers like, hey, what happened to the end game numbers? There's not a single chance that anyone's thinking like, oh yeah, we're okay, we're in good shape. It's not a thing. I mean, they're losing popularity. There's still
Their
Marvel
check
and
engine light is
best-selling
on when I
movies.
think about it.
That's a good way to put it. Their check engine and light is on, and you can't ignore that forever. Ask anyone. It's going to end up costing you a lot in the end. So just try and fix the thing now. Address the issue. Don't just keep printing out nonsense following the same formula because it's not like what we want. We've already seen that movie. Let's do something new.
Yeah, there's so much about the MCU that I really want. I also want, I mean, this is just in general movies, both MCU and DC. I understand that we always love to take stuff in it. We want to break stuff down. I also love a surprise.
Mm-hmm.
As much as I want to know who the next actor to play Human Torch is, or how much I really want to know who the next big bad is, I also love mystery. I do love being surprised, which is why, as much as I enjoy like doing breakdowns of trailers, I've slowly stopped watching trailers because I want to go into that movie excited, not like, oh, I pieced it together with my knowledge of comic books and where they could go. I want to go in to be entertained.
Going blind, yeah, that's the way to do it. That's how I went in with the new Avatar movie. I was like, yeah, I watched that movie 10 years ago, and I just watched a second. I was like, yeah, that was dope. Let's keep doing that. I only watched the trailers that were in the movie theaters before the Marvel movies. So it's not like I was going hard trying to do my research for Avatar: The Way of Water. And that movie ended up being great. My last one on here is I hope we get to explore other stuff on this podcast a little bit. We just introduced that idea for Avatar. It's just kind of like if there's an earth-shattering event or record-setting this or record-setting that, I want to grow with our audience. We are the Marvel Stuff Podcast. We're also all individual humans. If you guys want to hear us talk about other things, and hit us up and we'll try something new. Like, I think the Avatar episodes were fun. Not even remotely related to Marvel, but hey, I had a good time. So, that's how I feel.
And to the people that and I completely agree. Not with Avatar, but I agree that if you guys want, that's why I keep saying if you want stuff, we need to know. We would like to know because we can only do what either we enjoy or what we know people enjoy hearing.
We're acting like Marvel out here. We're following the same formula for 2 years, and we want to avoid any sort of drop off because we love having you guys here. We love the community that we've really built here. It's been really cool. There's different, we get messages all the time about, oh, I really enjoy listening to this with this person and yada, yada, yada. I'm not going to say any specifics, but it's cool hearing that stuff. I'd love to hear more of it. What?
I was going to say it's cool. My name's probably not mentioned. It's whatever.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Fair enough. Noah's the man. I think that's all.
I'm waiting for all of those comments. It's just like, where's Noah? More Noah.
We did early on when David stopped appearing every couple episodes. They're like, I only started listening to this podcast for David, more David. And then David's like, I don't know who that person is. So shout out to David. You were popular for that one fan and we lost them forever. I hope you enjoy him on Star Wars stuff, you big jerk. No, just playing. Love David. Love the Star Wars Stuff podcast. Goes listen to them. As I said, Gotham City Rogues going to be doing, probably once a month, do some fun TV shows, fun movies, news on the stuff, not Marvel. I think that's all I got for this, Noah. Did you have anything in closing for the new year?
I am optimistic. I think I would say that I am more optimistic for Marvel than I am DC, which is saying a lot because I have grown to become a very DC heavy fan.
Hey, welcome to the club.
Stuck. There's as any Michigander or anyone who just had to fucking snow. they're turning the wheels, but it's not going anywhere, and they need a good push. They might need to
I think
rock a
that's
little
what
bit,
they're
but they'll get
doing
out.
for. Yep. I'm optimistic as well. We're gonna keep this Marvel stuff rolling. The next project on the docket, I believe, is Quantumania. So we'll be doing some more filler episodes in the coming weeks. But thank you to everyone. Happy holidays. Happy New Year. I hope you stick to your New Year's resolutions more than just the first week. But at the same time, don't, because you're crowding my gym, and I'm really sick of that garbage for every January.
I
Oh,
was gonna say,
God.
as someone who goes to the gym, I love seeing new people.
I
But
almost
if
skip the
you're
gym
only
for the first 3 weeks of January every year because I know that it's just stupid packed with people that haven't been going to the gym since last January. Oh, man, we should stop hating on people. Happy New
New
Year's,
Year,
guys.
no,
Stick to your
New
resolutions.
Year,
Keep those
new me,
gyms busy.
people.
Keep
Yeah,
those
come
gyms
on, New
busy.
Year, new me, people.
I want everyone out here looking hot. Oh, it's going to be great. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for listening. And in the words of the immortal coach, have fun, but not too much fun without us.